when we came up with this title, or we sort of got it through guidance, um, we had no idea of all the things that would happen this last week, meaning the fires in Los Angeles. I've lived out in Los Angeles for a long time, and I've been very heartbroken. I know we have family and friends that were, devastated, impacted by this. So this class has an even greater focus of really, how do we cope with this, even as spiritual people, even as people who are grounded or getting through most of the events of life, when life really hands us a huge package of negativity or fear or what we would even feel to be darkness. How do we cope with it? How do we get through it? How do we try to keep connecting to our light, to our guidance, even just a higher frequency, so that we can feel free ourselves and not be completely burdened by what we are experiencing in our world? So first off, I just want you to know that Jim and I have been sending prayers and light all week for everyone in Los Angeles, everyone impacted. Like I said, we had family and friends that were very affected by this. We're going to do a meditation today where we're going to really come out of our head and connect to our heart. I think one of the most difficult things we face in these kinds of times or experiences is simply that we go into our head and it's very hard to get out. There's a running narrative, there's a running dialogue going on in our head. We feel powerless sometimes. Sometimes the way we deal with feeling powerless is try to figure everything out in our head. And when we know we can't do that, when we know it's too overwhelming, we start to sort of go into overdrive or shock. We feel that our mind has to be able to cope with it. And let's face it, our mind really can't. We get hit with some very deep feelings, and suddenly our emotions become the enemy. Now, we don't really want our emotions to be the enemy. We want our emotions to function the way they should, which is just as indicators, boundaries, passage to joy, to fulfillment. But in these times, we can get overwhelmed with fear, despair, anger, hatred, especially if there's a lot of negativity going around in our common world, on the news, among people dealing with shock or something negative, by expanding the negativity, going further into hate, going further into anger, going further into fear. So where do we, as conscious people, as spiritual people, where do we find the boundary or even just the relief from that? And on a greater picture, how do we find the way back to our own, first of all, our groundedness, our own inner direction, our own inner guidance, and even a sense of peace or harmony? Because that seems to be what is most affected by everybody rushing into the negative. This may sound like going way off topic here, but I used to watch Star Trek, the original TV show. And there was one episode, for those of you that don't know Star Trek, where Captain Kirk and the Starship Enterprise, everybody, I can't remember the whole plot, sorry, but everybody started getting sick. Everything started to go wrong. Everybody started fighting with each other in the canteen. Everybody was either crying or shouting or getting angry or upset. And they realized that there was this alien life form that had come into the ship, great metaphor right there, that fed on people's negative emotions. So it tried to get people to be upset. The alien life form tried to get everybody to be angry or full of hate or to fight each other or to get full of despair and sadness, because it was living off of those emotions. And that episode has always stuck in my mind, because I think there's an element of that in our life. I think Gene Roddenberry was pretty brilliant, because there's an element about negative emotion and energy where it can compound upon itself. it can grow and grow and grow and spread and spread and spread, just like the fire. And you might say to yourself, well, how do I, douse this fire within myself? Because we know once our thoughts get going on something a little scary or something we don't have a solution for, they can go wild. I work with individual clients, and I've had a lot of clients this last week, even far away from LA, that would say to me, I have fear in my stomach now and I don't know how to get rid of it. I wake up with it. I go to bed with it. It's almost like it's a climate, and we have to just sort of step back and, as the title of this class says, rise above it. Well, how do we rise above it? I'm going to be leading a couple of meditations in this next hour that hopefully give us a few tools to rise above it. I think one of our first things we have to understand is that no matter how overpowering or scary or upsetting something might be, it's still a story. It's still a narrative that's going through our mind. In order to rise above it and get to almost sort of a different consciousness, we have to unhook ourselves from the story. One of the best ways to do that is to drop down from our head into our heart. Now, obviously that's harder, easier said than done. So my exercise will be how to just go at it very consciously, dropping out of your head into your heart. One important way we can deal with all these thoughts, all these fears, is simply to focus on a different part of our energy. So in other words, trying to give our mental life a rest and get into our body. Go to the gym, go swimming, get in the hot tub, go for a walk your dog, look at the sunset, sing along to the radio, scream. This all may sound a little crazy, but what we're trying to do is get into a different part of our consciousness. We're trying to pull ourselves into a different chakra. We're trying to get into our body. We're trying to get into our soul, as opposed to getting stuck in our mind. Our mind is always going to have a lot of solutions, but they're always going to be mental. I have a lot of clients that even before some of these difficult events were always calling me up and saying, Abby, I'm worried about this. I'm worried about that. What if this happens? What if that happens? I go to bed at night and I can't get it out of my mind. And this is like, before all this other stuff happened. So we all have that. It's a human condition. And yet my clients were giving me a very important question, which is, how do I turn it off? How do I stop future imagining? How do I stop projecting negative energy into the future? How do I stop projecting it into the past? If we think of negativity as an energy, we start to get a little bit more of a handle on it. It's almost like, in COVID, we would go to the store and we didn't want to pick up anybody's germs. Now we're walking around and we really don't want to pick up anybody's negativity. Probably in some ways just equally toxic. We all have a toxic person, maybe in our family, our job. We have toxic people in politics. We have people in the international scene. We just have events like the event that we all just went through. It carries a certain amount of energy. How do we protect ourselves from that energy? As we step into our heart, we're going from a feeling of powerlessness where we try to control it with our mind to a feeling of surrender where we're calling in our spirit, our divine help, our angels, God, universe, whatever you want to call it. We try to be familiar and we try to be comfortable with surrender. And we're expecting that there's going to be a whole team of invisible people or powerful forces in the world that can come in and help us. That's the basic difference between our mind and our heart. Our mind, we feel powerless and we feel like we have to go out fighting, come up with a solution that we may not even know what that would be. We go into our heart and instead we're dealing with surrender. Now that can feel a lot worse. I hate to tell you, but a lot of times people associate surrender with giving up. They're like, oh yeah, everybody's telling me to surrender, but I've got to keep fighting, or I can't give up, or does that mean I just have to give up what I'm really going for, or what I don't want to settle. I don't want to, run away from this. The real meaning of the word surrender, I think, is not giving up so much. It's allowing, it's feeling in your body, feeling into new places in your body where you might feel okay, where you might feel at peace, where your heart energy of love, compassion, forgiveness is stronger than your thoughts. The more we step into that, the more we might feel the feeling of surrender, which is more like relaxing. It's more like the feeling of, I don't know if there's any solution to this. It all looks really bad, but I'm going to trust, crazy me, that there is some divine presence, that there is the universe or energy or God, goddess, whatever you want to call it, that is there for me, that has a higher plan, not only in the world outside of me, where eventually I could make sense of this, but more inside of me. It's getting to a peace inside of your body. It's kind of like on an airplane, they say, put the oxygen mask on yourself first, and then you can help other people. What the oxygen mask is now would be to try to come to a place of balance in yourself, to find that part in your body, your heart, your stillness, your being, where you still feel okay, where you still feel safe, and try to vibrate with that place. Try to live there more often in your day if you can. Try to do anything you can to go to that safe place, whether it takes a meditation, a spiritual connection, an affirmation, going to your happy place in your mind. I don't know what it is, but the more safe we feel, the more we feel that divine energy, the more we can just sort of be there with it. Everything else starts to go away or resolve itself in a better way for ourselves. And the reason for that is because our mental world, our mental fears, anxiety, emotions often come up as a smokescreen, forgive the, metaphor, and prevent us from hearing our intuition. As things are bad in our life, or as we're dealing with obstacles, challenges, even tragedies, we actually want to be as still as possible. We want more intuition coming in. We want more connection with our guides and our angels. We want to be able to be still and listen. Sometimes in a crisis, if we're really still and listening, we will think of a solution, or a solution will come to us that we wouldn't have thought of, or a way of being, a way of acting, reaching out to someone, having an idea to do something. Those are the kinds of things that our angels, our guides, can come in and supply us with if we're quiet enough. Our mental world, our mental activity often blocks our intuition, blocks the voices of our angels, divine energy, Holy Spirit, whatever you want to call it, from actually coming in. And that's why it's so important for us to sort of grab ourselves, even if it's difficult, and even if we have to practice at it a lot, to come to more of a place of stillness. So again, some of the ways I would recommend getting to that place of stillness are: use your spiritual tools. You wouldn't be here in this class if you didn't already have your spiritual tools. whether they're meditation, yoga, affirmations, prayers. Prayers can be very effective. Being in your body, taking a walk, taking a bath, going to the gym, swimming, listening to music, anything that's physical, anything that's out of your mind, using little practices to pull yourself out of your mind. It may not be easy at all, especially the things facing us could be pretty big, but there's kind of no alternative. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I hate to say that, but it's true. We have to learn how to do that if we're effectively going to go through our life and sort of experience everything, but not get caught in it. Now, I'm not really talking about denial. Denial is something different. Denial is where you actively try to block an emotion. We all know that can be very tempting, of course. The reason we don't want to block an emotion is because we don't want to live in a fantasy world. We don't want to be in resistance. We don't want, something comes in and says, no, I can't think about that. I'm going to go sit in my closet. No, you don't really want to do that. But what you do want to do when a big emotion comes in is you want to sit with it. You want to ask it to be released, and you want to return to your heart where you can get a calmness, a peace, and a connectedness. Because at the basis of all this spiritual work, whatever denomination you are, whatever tools you're using, is always that we can connect to the divine, to the Holy Spirit, to the universe, whatever you're calling it. And it actually works. I guess that's the big belief we have, but I think it's true, is that it does work. The more of us connect, the more of us feel that peace, the more of us resist the hustle and bustle of all the negativity around us, the more we hold light. The more of us that hold light, we create a light grid for more people than we realize. We're holding a light grid for everybody, our friends, our relatives, our neighbors, everybody. The more we can stay in that place of light, we're anchoring it for everybody else. And slowly, the world, I think, returns to sanity. We get over crises, we get over situations, and the light gets stronger and stronger so that we all can sort of go back to the light on a normal basis. So, having said that, I'd like to guide us now in a meditation. We're going to start feeling some of those feelings of light, of peace, of connectedness. And also, I want to lead us in a meditation where if you are filled up with some negative feelings right now, that we can release them in a safe place. I guess the ultimate about spiritual work is, okay, it's not easy. We know that. But the other part of it is that we can do it. And as we become spiritual warriors, as we just stand in light, participate in light, bring light to each other, it does work. And it will work as it spreads. Just as negativity can spread, just as fire can spread, light can spread, probably even more powerfully. And that's where we need to be to help each other get into that light. So if you're ready to do a meditation, just get comfortable, close your eyes, and just start out by taking some deep breaths. As we breathe, try to breathe past the top of your chest. If you feel any fear or constriction, just try to pull the breath gently down through your chest. Pull your breath down to your belly. As we breathe, see how far down your breath will go. Deep breath. Let it out. Deep breath. Let it out. Eventually, if you feel that you're pulling your breath down through your body, you can even pull it right down to your toes. Your whole body can fill up with oxygen, fresh air, air that's full of life force, full of chi. Let's keep breathing. Again, breathe down, down, down through your body. Relax. Just breathe it out. Let's take another deep, deep breath way down through your body. When you're ready, just breathe it out. This time, as you breathe, I want you to pull the breath down as far as you can, and I want you to hold it. Just hold it in a moment of silence there in your body. Just let it out. Let's try that again. Breathe the air way down into your body. Hold it for a moment. Just breathe it out. One last time. Pull the air down as far as you can. Hold it as long as you can in a moment of stillness. Breathe it out when you feel like it. Now we're going to let our head go limp and just roll it around our neck. Just relax your neck. There may be stiff places in your neck. There may be tense places. So just go very gently. We're just stretching your neck, relaxing your neck, just letting it go. Now we're going to go in the opposite direction. We're just going to feel our neck is loose and limp, loose and limp. Nothing is holding up our head, just all relaxed. Now, our head is back on our shoulders, and now our shoulders are rising up, and our shoulders are as tense as they can be. They're squeezing right up under our ears. Can you feel that tension, that push? Now let them go. Let's try that one more time. The tension we feel all through our shoulders, our upper back, squeezing up right under our ears. Whoa, let it go. Now we're raising our arms and reaching up to the ceiling. Let's see how much you can stretch. Can you stretch right from the base of your spine, all up your back, your shoulders, your upper arms, your lower arms, your hands, just like you're going to reach up and touch the ceiling. Can you feel that stretch? Just stretch a little bit more. Now your hands are going to come down, but very slowly, because it's like they're weightless. They're just floating in the air. Your whole body is weightless. It's like you're trying to push your hands down through some snow and they just won't come down. A breeze could come along and just blow you sideways because you don't weigh anything. You're just floating. Now we're sitting down and we're going to just roll on our hips. We're stretching forward. We're stretching to the side. We're stretching to the back and to the side. If you're lying down, I just want you to feel a little circular motion in your hips. We're just loosening up your hips. We're just stretching out your lower back. If there's any pain in your lower back or your hips, I want you to be very gentle. I want you to go through this very slowly. We're just stretching the muscles. Just relaxing. Now we're going to go in the opposite direction. We're making a big circle to the side, to the back, to the side again, to the front. Just relaxing your back. Just going around and around and around. Now we're going to sit up straight. Now we have a big requirement for this one. All we have to do is see how we feel. How does your body feel right now? That's all you have to do. Sit there and feel your body. Do you feel any energy in any part of your body? Do you feel any stiffness? Do you feel any part that might be blocked? Remember, there's no right answers in this work because we're all different. We're all individual. So your answers are just for you alone. It's just about feeling your body. I want you to imagine a bright, bright light coming down to the top of your head into your body, just flooding into your body. We're calling it in the name of God, Creator, Great Spirit, Goddess. This is our divine energy. This is our chi, our life force energy. It's constantly flooding through our body, even if we aren't paying attention to it. It rushes down your legs, it rushes down your arms, it swirls around your heart. If you have a hard time with the idea of light, just think that you're standing under a waterfall and the water's pelting down on you. Or you're standing on a hill and the wind is blowing right through you. This is our divine energy from God, from the universe. It's constantly moving in our body. It might be imperceptible. It might be very light, like champagne, but it's always moving. It's always sparkling in you. It fills your body. It makes your heart feel really warm. And now it's flooding out of your heart all around you. It creates an energy field all around you, whether you realize it or not. You walk around with it all the time. When the light hits it, it's your aura. Now, your energy field can be thin. You might feel very vulnerable, or it could be thick. It could be 3 or 5 feet thick. So right now, I want you to put your attention on your energy field. See if you can feel it, sense it, see it. If it feels like it needs more energy, remember there's always energy flooding through the top of your head, through your body. You yourself can direct energy to fill up your energy field. So let's see what that feels like now. Now remember, we can make our energy field strong, and it's not hard. It's just as easy as what we just did. If you're going out to the grocery store, if you're going to a meeting, if you're getting on the phone with a member of your family, if you read the news, whatever you feel that you need a little extra protection, close your eyes and do what we just did. Fill yourself up with light, and then imagine the light around your energy field. Don't go out of the house without it. It really works. The more you focus on your energy field and your light, everything just kind of magically gets easier and easier. Another great way to focus on our energy, our positive energy, is to go to our heart. Now, our heart, the reason I often go to the heart chakra to ground myself and to center myself is because the heart is really the generator for our chi, our life force energy. The reason for that is that every moment of joy or happiness goes right into our heart, every moment of love, of safety, of comfort, and it charges our battery. That's what we live on. That's what powers us, is this very positive energy we carry around in us. And I think over the last week or two or three, you might have had some experiences where you did feel happy. You felt joyful. If you didn't, let's just go for comfort or safety or relief. Even just having a nice cup of tea or taking a walk. I want you to go to those experiences, those memories, and I want you to feel them for a moment. See how they feel in your heart. Now we're going to do another little exercise to show you your chi, your life force energy, how you can increase it in your body. Because remember, anything negative drains your chi. Anything positive gives you more chi. That gets back to the image of putting the oxygen on ourselves first. We have to keep our battery strong. We have to keep our sense of groundedness, positivity, even love strong. That's our best defense in any crisis because we're keeping our life force strong. That's what everybody around us will need. They need our help to connect with their life force. So I want you to put your hands out in front of your heart with the palms up. Just imagine that there's a ball of energy or a ball of light in your hands. If you're used to the idea of energy, you might want to move your hands around and feel it. If you're not used to the idea of energy, just put your hands together. Do they feel warm? Is there a little tingling feeling or a buzzing feeling? Because that's your life force energy. They call it your chi energy. In China, they call it your pranic energy in yoga. Can you feel that at all? Now, if you look at it, if you're visual, is there a color to this energy? Is there a feeling to it? Is it heavy? Is it light? Is it warm? Is it cold? We're calling in our guides and our angels, and we're asking them to help us receive this beautiful energy. And we say to ourselves, dearest God, Creator, I accept this gift of love that you're giving me today. Just say that to yourself. Now, look at that ball of energy in your hand. Did it change any just since we were talking? Is it a different color? Different message? What does it feel like? If you're having a hard time with the idea of energy at all, just put your thumb on your wrist. There's a pulse there. What is that? That's your life force energy. It doesn't matter whether you can see it, feel it, whatever, it's still there. And when we say this affirmation, it's going to work for you. Whatever you see or experience, we put it right into our heart. We say to ourselves, I receive it in my heart and in my life. So now we've got another ball of light in our hands. So again, feel it. Can you feel the energy? Can you feel the heat? This is a gift that the universe is giving you today, specifically. It might be the answer to a problem. It might be intuition. It might be wisdom. It might be courage. It might be joy. It might be prosperity. It might be the healing of a relationship. Just focus for a moment. What is this gift you're getting today? So now we say to ourselves, dearest God, Creator, I accept this gift that you're giving me today. This gift that the universe is giving you, you have to accept it. It can't just float around. You have to actually accept it. Now, does it feel any different? Is there a color there of the energy? Is there another message? I want you to press it right into your heart. We say, I receive it in my heart and in my life. That makes it a done deal. We have to receive, we have to accept. We have to remember that there's just as much positive energy in the world as negative, and we constantly have to keep accepting the positive. So that's where we can live. Even if it all seems the opposite, there still is that positive source. Now let's take a deep breath. Did you feel the energy go into your heart? Did you feel any different as you were working with your energy? Let's take a moment to feel your body. Now, as you're feeling your body, I want you now to go to the place in your body where you're feeling anything negative. If you're feeling anything fearful, do you feel despair? Do you feel anger? Do you feel hatred? It's okay. We all do. Don't worry about it. Just where do you feel it in your body? I know some of my clients have been waking up with this horrible feeling in their stomach. Some people feel this heaviness on their heart. They feel a strangling feeling in their throat. They can feel a heaviness at the lower back or the hips, or even pain. Sometimes your shoulders can feel very weighted down. So let's take a moment and just feel through your body. If there's any negative feelings there, I want you to locate them, because they're going to release them. Now, the first step is to simply feel into that feeling. We don't want to deny any feelings. We want to walk right into it and not be afraid of it. So if it's fear, I want you to just walk right into it and have some of those fear thoughts. What have you been afraid of? If you're angry, what are you angry at? I want you to just spend one moment and feel okay with stepping into that emotion. Let's do that right now. Are there other thoughts and feelings that are coming up that follow? Go to that part of your body, go to those thoughts. Again, just step into it, say it to yourself, feel it. Now we're calling in your guides and your angels. These are the invisible presences that are always around you, always leading you, guiding you, helping you. Imagine, if you can, one of these beautiful invisible beings standing right in front of you. Now, I want you to point to the angel and tell them where you feel these feelings in your body. If it's hard for you to imagine an angel, just go to that part of your body and just say to yourself, I need help here. Now I want you to imagine your angel handing you a huge ball of light. The angel is putting it into that part of your body. So, in other words, you're letting the angel take these feelings from you and replace it with light. Let's focus on that for a moment. How does that feel? Sometimes when light comes into our body, we actually feel worse. It's because we've been holding in so much that when we imagine light coming in, we have sort of a spike in feeling. So I want you to just ride through that. I want you to imagine light coming into that part of your body. If you're still feeling fear or anxiety or anger, ask your angel to take it out of you now. Sometimes in the light, we get more insights about what we're experiencing. If people come up, if conversations come up, if fears come up, each one of them you can give to the light. Ask your angel to take it from you. Keep working through it. If there's another area of your body where you're feeling some emotion, now have the angel put light into that part of your body. Now your angel is going to reach in and pull that light from your stomach or your throat or your root chakra or any other chakra, and they're going to pull all that fear, all that anger, all that remnants of those feelings right into your heart. If it's coming from your stomach, if you felt fear in your stomach, let's focus for a moment and feel that energy rise up right into your heart. We're pulling it all into your heart now. What does that feel like? Your angel is now putting an enormous ball of light right in your heart. How do we feel in our heart? We feel warm, we feel safe, we feel connected. If you have a question for your guide, your angel, you're completely connected to light now. You're completely connected to your guide or angel. This is the moment to ask them that question. Just ask it in your heart and just be quiet and listen for a reply. Now feel more light flooding into your heart. Is there a second question you want to ask your angel or the divine? Ask it now. Feel more light rushing into your heart. There's light all throughout your body now. It's just tingling, filling you completely. In the light, with your angel standing in front of you, open yourself up to a knowing, a wisdom, a message that will come from your angel or from the divine energy now. Breathe all that light into your heart. Feel the light go throughout your body. Feel warm, feels vibrant. Ask your angels to always be with you and to bring you healing and wisdom. Give them permission to come to you while you sleep and bring you wisdom, healing, and information. Ask them to continue this healing in the days to come and to continue to make your heart feel like a safe space where you can go to your heart and feel safe and clear no matter what. Take a deep breath. Take another deep, deep breath. When you feel ready, come back to the room, open your eyes. We're going to take a moment now. We're going to take a break if you want to journal, if you want to breathe. We're going to come back in 10 minutes. Come back right at 5 after the hour, and we're going to do Jim's meditation. I'm going to sign off now, but I'll be back in 10 minutes.
Okay, everybody back. Give it another minute or so. Hey,
Welcome
Renee.
back, everybody. Hi, Renee. I'm here. I'm here. Can you hear me?
I
Good.
can hear you, yes.
Okay, great.
We can all hear you. Good. All right. So I guess we get started. Abby, do you want me to mute you again?
Sure, yeah, go ahead and mute me.
All right. All right. Awesome. Okay, well, happy Sunday, everyone. For those that don't know me, my name is Jim McCarthy, and Abby and I have been teaching together for years now. And this is a topic that the guides gave us to teach on. So it should be interesting. They've been kind of picking the classes, the last few classes. So usually when we teach classes, I kind of like write some notes off and stuff like that. And today I had written some notes, and then I did a meditation this morning, and they kind of destroyed my notes. So we're gonna start off a little differently than I normally do. And what I want to do is start off with a meditation, just a short meditation. And the guides told me to start off with a short meditation and to bring light in, and then let the light continue to heal throughout the class while we're talking, and then do another meditation at the end. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay. So if we can get comfortable again. And, one of the reasons why they want to do this meditation is because they want to really guide people on how easy it is to connect to light, and for everybody to know that it's a divine gift here for them, and it's their choice to connect to it anytime they want to. Okay. And with that connection comes resources you can't possibly get from the mind or from anything to do with human consciousness. What we connect to is far greater than human consciousness, and we don't need to understand it in order for it to work through us. Okay. So anyway, so again, let's close your eyes. And just take a breath. And you might realize that we breathe all day long and we don't even have to think about it. It just happens. There's a consciousness that breathes us, and that comes from grace. It's a gift. There's a consciousness that beats our heart, and we don't have to do anything to control it or maintain it. It's a gift. And that same consciousness is healing and transmuting thousands of cells every second of the day in your body and everybody else's body. Again, it's a much higher consciousness. It's all knowing, and it knows exactly what you need and gives it to you by grace every second of the day. So let's take another breath. And I want you to call in this consciousness. Some people call it God. Some people call it the Holy Spirit. Some people call it the Divine Mother. Whatever name you have for this consciousness that's all knowing, all loving, and everywhere. And it's all powerful. Just call that in. And then be still. There's nothing that you need to do. So you may just focus your attention on feeling that connection. Do you feel warmth? Do you feel tingling? Do you feel a presence? Do you feel peace? Whatever you notice, some people feel things, some people see light. Whatever it is you're experiencing, just put your attention on it. And allow it to expand. Allow it to fill all space within you, within your mind, within your body, within your environment. And I want you to realize that you're completely protected. Then I want you to think of one or two things that you really need help with in your life. And I want you just to take a minute and ask this consciousness, this God, Holy Spirit, to help you with these things. To lead you, to guide you, to direct you, to protect you, and to give you everything you need mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, for your highest good. And ask this consciousness to continue healing this on all levels while you sleep, while you're listening to the rest of this class. At any time you're open until it's completely healed and completely transformed. And again, you don't need to understand it. You don't need to control it. You don't need to manage it. Just be open and allow it. You can give this consciousness, this light, permission to also gently dissolve and release from you any emotions that no longer serve you, any energy associated with it, any thoughts, memories, judgments, expectations. Just give it permission to heal your consciousness, to heal your body, to heal your mind, to heal your spirit. And to light up your path. Okay, now we're going to continue to let this consciousness, this energy, heal us mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Throughout the rest of this class. And we don't have to do anything except for allow. Okay. So take a deep breath and come open your eyes and come back into the class. Okay. How many people felt a sense of presence, a sense of comfort, sense of peace in the meditation? Yeah. The guides wanted me to do the meditation at the beginning because it's an experience. Connecting to light is an experience. To rise above human consciousness and to rise above negative emotions and limitations and the lies that create suffering is something that all we have to do is know that it's our gift to connect to this light and connect to it and then surrender to it, get out of the way. And if you can realize it's all knowing and it's all powerful and it's everywhere, meaning if you're out in the Mojave Desert and you're having a problem, you can call it in and it knows exactly what you need in that situation. Okay? If you're in a negative emotion, if you're in fear or anger or hate or frustration, if you can take the time to call it in and just sit and be still, within minutes, it's going to dissolve it. And it's going to start to bring you what you need for your highest good in that moment. Okay. And, one of the things this week that I played with a little bit because, the class is about how to rise above things. And so I'm really into prayer. Okay. One of the things that Abby and I have done recently is we've added a prayer request form to our website. So if anybody needs prayers, you can just go to it. I'll put the link below this video. And you can just request a prayer for whatever you want. And we did that. And when people when they request a prayer, we get an email. And I just look at the email. I can usually feel what's going on, and I'll just clear it. And I'll make that connection for them. And that's all I'm doing is bringing that consciousness to them and asking it to help them for whatever they need for their highest good. And, so one of the things that I was working with someone, and I was feeling I was feeling all these negative emotions. And so I just went to prayer, and I just called in this spirit. I called in the Divine Mother, and I said, please rise us above this, right? And I just sat there. And within like 1 to 2 minutes, the energy was completely cleared and peace came in, right? And it's really all about, it's really, we have the ability to connect to lower consciousness or higher consciousness. And I remember in COVID, I went to Trader Joe's, and it was like when it, kind of like, I think it was even pre-vaccinations and stuff, and people were really scared. And I'm an empath. I went into Trader Joe's, and I was standing in this big long line to buy something. It was up in LA, and I could feel the fear so strongly that I could cut it with a knife. But it felt like it was me. I felt afraid. Okay. And I was like, this is, you know, this is really intense. So when I got home, I went for a walk. And at the time, we lived on this street with all of these trees. And I just went for a walk, and I started paying attention to the trees. And all of a sudden, I felt the peace of nature. I felt this overwhelming peace and nurturing feeling. And my guides came in and they said, we're showing you the difference between human consciousness and light, you know? And I was like, they said, the only drama there is in human consciousness. I was like, okay, good. Well, I'm a human being, so what do I do? And they said, you know, dwell on the place of the Most High. They said in scripture, they teach you to dwell on the place of the Most High, which is that light. And in that meditation we just did, it took a minute to connect to it, right? But we have to choose to do it. And once we choose to do it and we allow it and we surrender, it takes over and it knows everything and it will never hurt you. Okay? That's one of the things that this world is full of, is people, trying to get you not to trust God or not to trust light. And that blocks your connection to it. If they can get you to fear or doubt, then you can't open. Okay. So one of the ways we rise above something is we choose to trust in the light. We choose to trust in it. We have to know that it's with us at all times. And then we just have to ask, right? Another thing, ask and you'll receive, right? So if you ask for help from the light and you're sincere, you'll always get help. Okay. And it will always protect you. It will always lead you around things that could hurt you, right? I remember I was on a walk in New York one time, and I always kind of have my guides handy. And I was just walking down the street. It was like midnight. And I was walking down the street, and all out of the blue, my guide said, go to the other side of the street. So I said, okay. So I went to the other side of the street. And sure enough, there was a bunch of people at the corner I was approaching, and they were all taking drugs. Okay, like not just marijuana, like drugs, like meth and crack and stuff like that. So I went to the other side of the street, and then like within a minute, my guide said, "Go back to the other side of the street now." And I went back to the other side of the street, and the same thing was happening in front of me on that side of the street now, right? But I was completely navigated around it, and I was in no harm's way. Okay, because I was open to my guidance. And, it's like people are always asking Abby and I, How do you connect with your guides? I want to get better at connecting with my guides. The way you connect with your guides is you rise above the emotional drama and you call in the light. And in the light is your guidance. It's your intuition. It's your protection. Okay. But if you're in fear, or if you're in anger, or if you're in hate or frustration, or whatever kinds of those emotions, it actually blocks your connection to the light. It blocks your connection to truth. Okay. If one of the things that I learned when I was studying mysticism is that when you meditate and you connect with light, you always feel peace, right? Peace always is a result of it. Okay. And so years later, I was on a walk and I was full of anger. And and I was just, when you're full of anger, you have angry thoughts. So I was ranting and raving and everything. And my guides came in, they said, there's no peace in this. I said, no, there isn't. And they said, then you're not connected to the light. And I was like, oh, right. And I realized then that, we can use our emotions kind of as a monitoring thing as to, how often we need to consciously reconnect. Okay. Because every time you connect to light, it helps you with whatever you're going through on all levels, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and physically, because they're all kind of interconnected. And so when the light comes in, it automatically heals the thoughts. It automatically heals the emotions. The result of that automatically helps heal your body, right? Because all of our disease and our suffering comes from blocked energy. So, it's like one of the things I was taught was that when you call in the light, it's all knowing and it knows how to heal you. You don't need to know. And I was like, woohoo, right? And it's the same thing like when Abby and I pray for people, we don't need to know. We just have to establish a really good connection and then ask that light to surround the person who's asking for healing and protect them and infuse them with light because that's their essence, right? And when that light comes in as someone's essence, it automatically corrects thought, corrects emotion, and helps with the functioning of the body, right? Or if it's something financial, it automatically starts to heal that, right? But one time I was doing this, and I was doing this with myself. I was calling in the light, and I was trying to figure out what I needed healing on. And I realized that the only thing that's wrong with me is that I wasn't demonstrating light, right? It was the consciousness that was alive and active in me wasn't my essence. And by bringing light to it, it gently clears it and transmutes the energy and the thoughts, and you end up feeling it in your body, and you end up getting a healing. And so I do a lot of work with prayers, and the prayers, you can also download the prayers on our website for free, some of them. And I'll put a link to that underneath this as well. But prayers are nothing but you tuning into the light and asking for what you want. Okay, sincerely, right? And if you do that, you'll always get an answer from your prayer. It may not be exactly what you're looking for in the time frame, but if you keep it up, things start to unravel and your consciousness will heal, your emotions will heal, relationships will heal. Because as we start to heal the things in our mind and our emotional body, the light, when it comes in, it automatically starts to transmute things into truth. And when things are transmuted into truth, we automatically have right thought and right action. And when things are transmitted into the truth, there's no suffering involved because there's no suffering in light, right? One of the people I follow is Avatar that brings down the divine female energy. And she says, when you reach enlightenment, it's impossible for you to suffer. It's absolutely impossible for you to suffer. Doesn't matter what's going on in the world around you, you'll be at peace because all of your thoughts are accurate. All of your perceptions are healed. You won't be afraid of lack because you'll know that it's impossible. Okay. All of these things happen. And, as we heal each wounds, individually, like we all have all this healing we're going through right now. And as we bring each one of these things into light, every time it comes up in us, it's going to heal a little bit more and a little bit more. And we're going to start to learn to trust that that heals. Making that connection and bringing it in actually has a healing effect. And I don't have to figure it out on my own. All I have to do is work with the light. And that's really what Abby and I are here to teach. Okay. So, the first question that I had wrote in my notes was to ask yourself, why should I choose to rise above fear or anger or darkness or negativity? Right? What's in it for me? Right? What's in it for you is peace. Okay. And healing. If you're in that realm, like you've ever walked into, like I used to run a business, and you walk into the boardroom, if everybody's angry and afraid, the energy isn't good in that room, right? And if you automatically try to figure out what's going on that's making everybody angry and afraid, right? And you believe in it, you're going to just start co-creating it with everybody else. But if you can just say, ooh, the energy here is not good, and you call in the light, you call in that divine consciousness, and you ask the divine consciousness to start taking over the meeting and to bring healing to everybody here, people will either leave the room or peace and transformation will start happening in that room. Okay. And it works, right? But somebody has to keep their attention on the light. That's how it works. We get to choose whether we want to be in the mind or connected with that universal light that's all knowing and be a conduit of it. And that's really the only thing that keeps us above things, right? Rising above things just means going from those lower emotions or lower states of human consciousness to putting our focus on light and dwelling in that. And whatever you focus on grows. So as you focus on light and you keep dwelling in it and keep calling it in, it's automatically going to heal and transform you and start guiding you from that light of truth, right? I mean, one of the most scary things there are in this world is not knowing the truth, right? Not knowing if you're being lied to, not knowing if you can trust someone, right? And when you connect to light, it doesn't lie to you. It's impossible for it to lie to you. It would never lie to you. Okay. So when you start to see things, when it starts to tell you things and they come true, you lose your fear because you can rely on it. Right? So, the whole thing about rising above fear or darkness or negativity is really learning how to connect with this light and then learning how to surrender it and let it take the lead. Okay. And some of the prayers that are on our website are really about, like, when you feel fear, like, you work with people. I was working with someone the other day, fear of lack, right? Fear of not having enough money. Okay. Well, what do you do with that? Do you work harder? Do you rob banks? Do you rob the grocery stores? You know, or do you realize that at some level you're misperceiving the universal laws of abundance, right? Or that you're just afraid of something that you think might happen in the future that more than likely will never happen. Okay. But the way what you do with that fear is you recognize that you're afraid and you don't deny it. Okay. And then you contact the divine, you call it in and say, I offer you this fear. Please take it out of me now. Because it knows how to do that. Please take it out of me now. And hang on a second, I just had to do something. Okay. Please take it out of me now. And please heal and transform all of the thoughts, all of the memories, all of the perceptions, all of the expectations associated with the fear. Now, that sounds pretty simple, okay? But when you do that, and then you're just still for a moment and allow it to happen, it'll be lifted out of you, okay? You may have to do it every time, every time you start noticing some fear in you, right? Immediately offer it, call in the light. Use it as a tool to, okay, I'm feeling something that I need to rise above. How do you rise above it? You call in the divine, you ask the divine to take it out of you and fill you with light. Okay? And as you do that, it will become less and less and less. And what I've noticed, because I've been doing it for a long time, is as I do it, my thoughts start to change, my perceptions start to heal, and I start to understand things to where there's nothing to be afraid of anymore. Right? But as long as I'm having fear, it's because I'm misperceiving something. Right? So if you can think of, if you have fear of lack, it's like you don't understand the laws of abundance yet. That's fine. A lot of people don't, right? But don't just stay in the fear and the fearful thoughts. Call in the light and ask the light to help you heal your thoughts and heal your perceptions and help you understand the laws of abundance and align you with them. Abby and I were meditating one day, and we have these guides that are like, you know, they're like ninth and 10th dimensional guides. And so their consciousness is a lot higher than what we could even comprehend on Earth. And so we were meditating, and I was asking them about manifestation. And it was about abundance. And they said, well, you don't understand. Abundance is natural. If you're not living in abundance, it's because you're misperceiving something. Ask us to heal that. I was like, whoa, but it goes back to, people, if they're feeling yucky stuff, automatically they want to, avoid it, deny it, whatever else. The reality is when you're feeling it, like Abby said in her meditation, don't deny it, just feel it. And then gently offer it to the divine and ask the divine to heal it in you, mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. Okay? Because it's not your essence. Your essence is the light. It's human consciousness that you were either born into, or trauma from the past that needs to be healed, or perception from your lineage that needs to be healed. Okay, that's another thing we added to our website was ancestral healing, because it's a really fast way to clear things that you were born with that were in your lineage long before you came to Earth. But until they reach light, they don't get healed. Does that make sense? Okay, so the most important thing for you to learn is when you're not feeling at peace, when you're feeling fear or anxiousness or hate or frustration, recognize that your thoughts are automatically going to be in alignment with that, but the emotions and your thoughts aren't who you are. Okay? It's part of the human mind, it's part of human consciousness. And the light can come in and correct it. God can come in and correct it. Right? There's a lady I love, her name is Sarah O'Mara, and she says, go to God with faith, ask for your healing, and then get out of the way. Okay. And it's really true, it's like as long as the more open you can be when you go to the light, the faster things are going to heal for you. And the more grace there's going to be about it. Okay. And by the way, like with fear, like how do we rise above fear? Well, the first thing I do, and I've got a prayer for this one, is I offer the fear to the divine, and I ask the divine to take it out of me and heal my thoughts, my emotions, my perceptions, my memories associated with it, and increase my faith in the light. Okay. And that's a really neat prayer, because when you ask God to increase your faith in God, it does it by miracles. It does it by doing things that wow you. Okay. And the more it happens, the more your faith naturally increases. And the more your faith increases, the less fear you have. Okay. So, it's like one of the key things that I've learned about rising above things is to learn to be present with feelings and watch the mind, watch your thoughts, but also recognize that that isn't your essence. One of the games I play in the morning sometimes is I'll wake up and sometimes I'll have these dreams that'll bring up some emotions that need to be cleared. And so when I open my eyes, I might feel like tightness in my stomach or something, and I'll just call in the Divine Mother, and I'll feel her presence come in. And then I'll just say, will you please take this out of me and heal whatever's going on that's associated with it, mentally, physically, and spiritually. And then I sit still and I allow. What did Christ say? Peace be still and know that I in the midst of you is God. Okay? Means still your mind. And so I've just kind of played that game. And what I've noticed is within like 2 or 3 minutes, it's completely transformed. And I may never understand what it was, and I don't care. What I understand is that that feeling changed and I didn't have to do it. Right. And it just kind of like went away. And then to put icing on the cake, a lot of times, like with fear, you clear on it, and then after a certain period of time, you realize that that used to make me afraid and it doesn't anymore, and I don't understand why. But I don't miss it either. Right. But you didn't do it. It just happened. Right. It's you know it works. But I want to take you through another meditation now, and I want to just kind of walk you through how to clear emotions by using light. And I also want you to understand that emotions are kind of like, it's kind of like a sign that in your mind, in your consciousness, your memories or whatever, something's active that isn't of light. It's not of truth, right? And like I remember clearing on fear, and I was like, who's the I that's afraid? One time I asked that question. And I saw myself in a past life in battle in like World War One. And I was like, whoa, right? Well, how am I supposed to heal that with my mind? So I just kind of released it and let it go. But I want to go through some healing prayers about emotion, how to release emotions and the thoughts associated with the emotions and the judgments and the memories and the expectations. Okay. And just let them go, because when you do that, you'll feel something lift out of you. And if you do it religiously, you'll notice fairly quickly that whatever it was that used to bother you doesn't bother you anymore. And you might not know why, but it doesn't matter. And then you'll also notice that you see things differently. It goes back to people ask a lot, like, in some of our retreats, it's like, you know, how can I get more connected to my guidance? Connect to the light. Guidance comes from light. Okay. It doesn't come from your mind. And so if you connect to the light and you ask the light to heal your perceptions and help you to see things the way they truly are. One of the prayers I say is to the Holy Spirit, to the Divine Mother, please let me see things as they truly are, with love, compassion, and courage in my heart, right? And then I just ask for that on a regular basis. And when I work with people one-on-one, when they come in, I'll see what's going on with them. And it's not like I'm thinking, it just happens, right? I'll just see whatever I'm supposed to see, because the light shows you what you need to see at that time. It's all knowing, right? But it gives you what you need to see at that moment, right? So anyway, let's go back into meditation. Let me just check something really quick here. I mean, one of the notes I wrote was rising above something requires you to reach for a higher level of consciousness than the something you're trying to rise above. Okay. I mean, it makes sense. Another thing I got that I liked from the guides was when there's no peace on earth, there's peace and light. Connect to it and then bring that peace to earth. I thought that was kind of cool. And then another thing that some tricky ways that we get caught up and we get caught up in darkness or negativity is through, you know, mainly like through like when you catch people, when you engage with gossiping and stuff like that, you're totally on the mental realm at that point. Okay. It's all human judgment, has nothing to do with light. And people do it so that they feel better or more superior than the person they're gossiping about. It's it's the bottom line. But anyway, okay. It's making sure the recording's on. Last time I forgot to turn it on, but it's on. Okay, so we ready to do the meditation on clearing emotions? Okay. I might go into some other prayers if I'm inspired to, too, by the way. But when I do the prayers, just if you want what I'm praying for, just say please and thank you at the end to yourself. And just that gives the divine permission. Okay. Okay, so again, close your eyes. And there's another thing that I want me to tell you about really quick. It's that a lot of times when when I do prayers, I'll feel what someone's feeling and then I'll clear it myself. Okay. That's what I do a lot in one-on-one work. It's one of the ways I have guidance is I just feel what they're feeling. Okay. So I'm already being shown that I'm feeling certain things from the group. Okay. So we're going to clear them and I'm just going to bring them into the prayers. Okay. All right. So again, let's just call in the divine, the Holy Spirit, our guides and angels. I call in the Divine Mother. What I want you to do is just kind of take inventory of what your body feels like. And also just become aware of feeling this energy, this higher consciousness. And recognize that this is always yours. It's always with you. It's always within you. Just it needs to be acknowledged. And I just want you to open yourself up and allow this light to come into your field. Okay. So the first feeling I'm feeling coming up in the group is nervousness. And if you have something different than that coming up, I want you just to use this prayer that I'm saying for whatever feeling you have. Okay. And it could just be discomfort in your body. Okay. Okay. Even talking about it, it's already lifting out. So I just would call in the divine, I'd say, divine presence. I offer you this nervousness. Please take this nervousness out of me now. And please heal all of the unconscious thoughts, memories, perceptions, expectations associated with this nervousness. Please lift this out of me now and transmute it into your light, into your love, into your peace, into your truth. Please and thank you. Now, again, all you have to do now is allow. Allow the light to come in, allow the light to do the work, and just be still. And so as I sit with that, what I'm being shown is there's a lot of fear of the future right now. And so we're going to clear on that. Divine Presence, I offer you this fear of the future. Please take this fear out of me now. Please heal all of the thoughts, the memories, the perceptions, the images, the expectations associated with this fear. Please transform this into your light, into your love, into your peace, and into your truth. Please increase my faith in your protection, in your wisdom, and in your guidance, in your supply, to give me everything I need as I need it. Please increase my faith and my trust in you for this. Please and thank you. Now I'm going to say a prayer on opening up your guidance and bringing you help and light throughout the day. Divine Presence, Holy Spirit, please bring me those that you can help me through, that you can bless me through. Please bring me those you can help through me and bless through me. And please be the light, the love, and the consciousness operating in, on, and throughout my being today. Please let your protection, your wisdom, your grace, your gifts flow through me today. And please bring me today what I need for my highest good. Please and thank you. Now, as you're feeling this light and this peace, I want you just to send it to anything in your life that you need help with. If it's a relationship, just send light to that relationship and ask it to bless the relationship and heal the relationship for your highest good. If you have any challenges you're facing, send this light to the challenges and ask that light to go before you. Make the crooked places straight and lead you, guide you, and direct you. And help you face and heal as you go through this challenge. Ask it to keep you in perfect peace throughout the challenge. When we're rising above something, it doesn't mean we don't have to face anything. It means we have to bring light with us while we face it. And if we're connected to light, our thoughts are going to be accurate. They're going to be healing. They're going to have a positive effect. Our guidance is going to be accurate. We'll know what to say. We'll know what to do. And most importantly, we'll feel comfortable while we're doing it. That's what we all want. So this connection to light, this conscious connection to the light, is your first step in rising above anything. And then let the light lead the way, because it has far more resources than we have in our minds and our emotions. So I want you to ask your guides and angels and this light within you to help you awaken more and more strongly to this oneness that you have with it, this connection you have with it. And give this light within you permission to heal you and continue to heal you, even when you sleep at night, to guide you and to continue to strengthen your spiritual guidance and to remove any obstacles that are blocking your guidance. Give it permission to help you to understand things rightly. With correct understanding, there's always peace. Each day, take time to connect to this light, preferably first thing in the morning, at a minimum, and then last thing before you go to sleep at night. But you realize as you invite that in, you'll start to work with it, and it will be resources for you for everything that you face. It will heal things that you didn't even know needed healing. And it will protect you from dangers that you didn't even know existed. There's nothing more important than really learning how to connect and rise above human consciousness to this consciousness of light. And as you focus on that connection, you'll receive its wisdom. You'll receive its guidance, its protection, its grace, and its supply. And most importantly, you won't feel alone when you face challenges. When Christ said, I have hidden manna, this is what he was talking about. So just give this light permission now to be with you, to guide you, to heal you, to help you receive more love, more joy in your heart. And know that this is where you go to rise above problems. This is where you go to rise above the consciousness of problems so that you can face them with the resources that you need without having to take thought. Now just take another deep breath and thank this spirit, this consciousness, for its healing, for its blessings, and for its continued help and protection. And when you're ready, just open your eyes. And Abby and I are going to spend some time on questions. If anybody has questions or comments or wants any more information about what we do, all you have to do is raise your Zoom hand. And if you don't know how to raise your Zoom hand, just raise your regular hand. Okay.
Lisa Hamilton says, can we have the link to the website and the prayer requests? If you go to the very top of the chat, I've put the website link, and I think Jim, where the website is www.infinitelight.me. So that's where you would go to give us your information so we can do the prayer request. And I see that Jay also has a prayer request. And so Jay, go to the website, if you don't mind, www.infinitelight.me, and just type in your request. And
I'll put,
oh, you'll
sorry,
put it, oh, good.
I'll put links to the prayer request page. I'll put links to the website. and I'll put links to this. We're having a Sedona retreat in May. I'm going to
Hmm.
put links to that on the website so you can go to that page and kind of look at what we're going to do there. Um, but yeah, if you want prayer requests, just there's a form you can fill out, ask what you want to be prayed for, and immediately, I mean, if I'm not in a session or we're not, on the phone with someone, we usually immediately send light and connect you with that light. And really, that's the highest form of prayer you can do is have someone hold light for you. Okay. And then all you need to do is be open and receive the answer to the prayer. Okay. But if you guys have prayer requests, there'll be a link underneath this in the comment section.
And also, Jim, Dana. Hi, Dana.
Hi, Dana.
She wants to know the name of the avatar that you mentioned. You mentioned, and I didn't know when you talked which avatar you were talking about, but she would like the link.
Are you talking about the her name is Mother Mara. She's in she's in Germany. Okay. But you can meditate with her online and it's free. Okay. And
And that
here's
spelling of
something.
mother, oh,
Yeah, it's
sorry.
it's 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 mother, like mother, and then MEERA. Okay. But here's a message she put on Instagram the other day that I thought was really interesting, right? And she's an avatar and she answers a lot of questions. And her whole role on earth is to bring love and joy to people. That's it. And she's really a cool person. She says, um, try to be wise enough to know that you do not know. Okay. It's like try to be open enough to know that, at your level of consciousness, you don't know what's going on in the big picture, right? Because thinking we know how things are supposed to be or how other people are supposed to act actually block us from receiving a healing sometimes because we shut down anything that doesn't match what we are expecting. Okay, so she says, try to be wise enough to know that you do not know. Then the divine can lead you forward into true knowledge, calmly, stage by stage. She says, give me your mind without fear, and I will expand it. When the heart suffers, it's easier to transform its suffering into joy. It's easy, she said, to transform its suffering into joy. But when the mind creates and lives in a fantasy, it's extremely hard to change it. So be very careful. Do not let your mind become your worst enemy, right? And that's why, like when I do the prayers, it's the most important thing to the prayer is after you say it, be still and just allow. You've said what you've said. Now let the light have the time to heal you, right?
So Dana, you need to leave in a few minutes, but it's great to see you. And I hope you got all that information. Lisa says the retreat on the website says it's for 2024. So, okay, total boo-boo there. It's
Well,
for 2025. May 2025. Sorry about that. Sorry for the mixed thing. So we're going to go back and fix that. But it's
yeah.
May 9th through 11th, 2025 in Sedona. Any more information, just go to the website and connect with us there, or you can email us directly.
Yeah. And we've also had a lot of requests lately for another East Coast spiritual weekend. So if people are interested in that, we're going to send out an email. But if you're interested in it, just email us or text us or whatever and let us know, and we'll try to schedule a date pretty soon for one. Okay, but we
Yeah,
just want to.
we're thinking of sort of the Washington, D.C. area. Sorry, I interrupted you, Jim.
That's okay.
Possibly even as soon as late February. And thanks everybody for all your wonderful comments, and um, huge thanks to everybody for joining us today. Are
Yeah.
there any more questions or anything people want to share?
And anybody that wants to be unmuted, just raise your hand, your Zoom hand, and we're good. Okay.
Well, thanks everybody for joining us. And again, the website, if we're not directly connected with you on email, is www.infinitelight.me. And this class will also be a recording on our YouTube channel. It will probably go up tomorrow or the next day, so you can see it as many times as you want. It's free. And our YouTube channel is, you go to YouTube and you put in Infinite Light LLC, or you can just put in my name, Abby O'Neill, and you'll find all the free classes. So thanks, everybody. And I'm so glad everybody got something out of the meditations. It's really wonderful. Our next class is going to be February 9th, I think. And so I'll send out, all the flyers for that to let you know about it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.